I thought Michael Barrett made a good point this morning that it's almost making it look like there's something that he has something to hide. I don't know if he has something to hide, but his response certainly it makes it look like he does. And I think he was snippy yesterday with reporters, with our friend Stephanie Levitz and Rosemary Barton at CBC. I thought it was unseemly a little bit. I thought he looked like a rookie politician who was thin-skinned.
Folks, it seems like Rosemary Barton has broken the brains of the people on the left and the CBC watchers, because they are all now calling for her to be fired from the interaction with Carney yesterday. I was trying to look up some updates on his trip to Iqaluit, and I saw that she had posted this video, which she's on the plane with him in the pool, the press pool, and the comments were not good. People started saying, "I reported your conduct during yesterday's interview with our Prime Minister to the CBC ombudsman. You are unprofessional, totally partisan, completely biased, and virtually called the Prime Minister a liar. You cannot contain your conservatism. CBC needs to find a replacement for you. Rosie, after yesterday's episode, it's plain that you're a partisan shill and you should be ashamed. A journalist should be impartial and be able to contain their biased opinions. You're shameful." And this is a problem that we're starting to see with the left, where they just attack if you don't believe 100% in what they believe. And we have a prime example of this with Elon Musk. This man used to be praised by the left. He used to be talked about on mainstream media all the time in a positive way. Even Obama was praising him. Just take a look at this small little compilation of clips talking about him before he was a bad man with Trump.
I would argue that the new Jesus Christ of our era are Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, and it's important to have heroes.
The 47-year-old engineer has been called the real-life Tony Stark, better known as Iron Man.
Elon Musk, a.k.a. real-life Iron Man.
The guy is brilliant.
He is a genius, and at least for now, the world is better off having Elon Musk in it than not.
Elon Musk is one of the most interesting people in America. He's in the world, and I guess in the universe.
Elon Musk is doing things that may revolutionize transportation and climate change.
When somebody as staggeringly rich and staggeringly intelligent as Elon Musk talks, people listen.
Has there ever been a car salesman like Elon Musk?
Elon Musk is I think beyond a car salesman. I mean, he's more like a hero for a lot of folks.
Just today, we were given a glimpse of something of a miracle at sea, or as Elon Musk calls it, Tuesday.
Let's talk about SpaceX.
Okay, the launch this morning was glorious.
Speaking of wonderful, out of this world, incredible images from the first all-civilian orbit around Earth. A huge win for Elon Musk.
It's an amazing development that's going on. You got to give a lot of credit to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he deserves a lot of credit.
Tesla founder Elon Musk says he knows the biggest threat to humanity, and he has a plan.
An immigrant to this country cemented his status as a leader in science and technology whose name may indeed belong alongside those of Edison and Jobs. Put another way, Elon Musk today showed the world how it's done.
The Democrats and Musk had a bad breakup. You know how these are. They used to be in love.
We're going to try to see if we can accelerate this kind of collaboration through we put forward. So
it's the right plan.
Good. Well, congratulations. This is terrific.
Thank you very much.
How's the car doing?
It's doing great, actually.
Yeah. How do you split your time between car and rocket?
Well, it's usually about 50-50. We should have the sedan on the roads in 2 years. And it'll be the best car on the roads by far.
Musk didn't change. Democrats did. He's always believed in free speech and free enterprise. He didn't make his money shorting the pound like Soros so we could use it to open our border and prisons. He's making cars that liberals say save the planet and trying to put rockets on other planets. The progressives hate that Musk's making progress.
And they hate it so much that the people who used to praise him for making the best EV in the whole wide world is now going around keying all the Teslas they see, burning them, boycotting them. People who own Teslas are now looking to sell them. And this is the mental derangement that these individuals have. Because you have people who are posting things like this, where Rosemary Barton's now trending, and just look at her username. 9x she got the jab 9 times for the world event. And she's the one posting things like, "Hello, CBC, read the room. We, the CBC viewers, are livid with Rosemary Barton." Like, these are those people that would be so upset that she questioned Mark Carney. But prior to her post of him coming down the airplane, this is what she posted on her page. I hope all the conservatives tweeting about me and my tough questions finally agree to appear on my program. They have an open invitation. Now, as much as I enjoyed her question yesterday, I wouldn't consider that a tough question. There could have been far other questions she could have asked. But again, look at these people. Forgive me, but I shall speak plainly. There is a difference between tough questioning and outright rudeness. You posed questions to Carney accusatively and refused to take the man at his word. This was not the first time you've questioned him in this manner, and now you called him a liar. What on earth were you thinking? You are a senior journalist working at the CBC, our national network. You have disappointed me and others like me who consider your work to be a cut above. That goes on the next one. Your question was aggressive. Wasn't the previous question answered effectively enough? You had to ask it? A journalist, veteran or not, who probes aggressively into a topic without factually basis and reasonable suspicion for investigating is acting against ethical journalism. Hello, people. This man, Carney, Mark Carney, is a global elitist. He's admitted it. These are his own words. He's been in a numerous amount of high-end profiles and portfolios. Bloomberg, Brookfield. He's been a UN special envoy. He works for the WEF, or he's been on the panel of the WEF. Bank of Canada, Bank of England. Like, the list goes on and on with the high-end people that he's been associated with, has ties to. There's the satellite company that just got all that money from Canada. He's very close friends with the CEO there. He's worked at Goldman Sachs. Like, the list goes on and all his portfolios that he's been a part of. You don't think that there could be potentially any sort of conflict of interest? The man has accumulated a huge amount of wealth. We're not sure exactly where or how much outside of, I've worked these jobs. But this is the job of a journalist, is to probe, is to ask. And the way that he's so defensive and not replying to anything, yeah, that is a bit of a problem, a bit of a red flag, and it doesn't look good on him. But I wanted to quickly touch on something else, because this individual here posted, "Oh sure, we come to your defense when you're treated like crap under Carney's shoe and you post about conservatives." And this is the one gripe that I would have, is that a lot of content creators, especially the more conservative ones that I saw, went to Rosemary and Stephanie's defense in terms of the way that Carney was treating them. The way he was very condescending, talking down to them, specifically to the female reporters. And the fact that Rosemary went out of her way to say, I hope all the conservatives tweeting about me and my tough questions finally agree to appear on my channel. And to me, this is her just reaching out to those liberal loyalists who love the CBC to prove to them that she's still one of them, that she's not a conservative, and as long as they don't get her fired, she will do better. But I will be interested to see how this affects the Liberal Party with Carney's interaction and the reporters, see how it affects the polls, as well as how Donald Trump endorsing the Liberal Party last night will affect them. Take a listen.
The liberal guys,
I love his wife.
The liberal party is going to win now in the next election, most likely. And they were down and out. Isn't that going to make them more hostile to us and possibly
I'd rather deal with a liberal than a
for China, closer to Canada, and that would really put us in a bind.
The conservative that's running is stupidly no friend of mine. I don't know him, but he said negative things. So when he says negative things, I couldn't care less. I think it's easier to deal actually with a liberal.
So Trump says he would rather deal with a liberal over a conservative. And to me, that kind of insinuates that he thinks maybe liberals are easier. They're a bit more of a pushover. That's how I took that. But it will be interesting to see how the liberals pivot from this. They've been kind of saying that Pierre is the Maple MAGA conservative. They've said during their leadership race that he's the Timbit Trump, which now we have Trump saying that conservative leader's no friend of mine. He's made tweets or truths or whatever posts saying that he's not MAGA. Pierre has openly agreed with him, saying, yes, Donald Trump, I'm not MAGA. And the only thing that I've seen maybe negative that he has said was that Trump put unjustifiable tariffs on them. To me, that's not that negative. I think a lot of the other parties have said a lot worse about Donald Trump. And he even expressed this during this same interview by saying he's dealt with many countries. Canada's the nastiest. And under Trudeau, the people that were under Trudeau were nasty and untruthful.
Look, I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty. And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth.
Now, after seeing those two clips of Trump, you do get a bit of mixed messaging, but I guess that's Trump for you. However, somebody who you don't get a mixed message from is James Moore, one of the conservatives that was on Vashti's panel last night. And he puts out a very direct message to Carney and their team, basically saying, this is why we need the transparency.
Tom talks about rules, and there are two rules about this. One, life is not fair. Number two, when you run for public office and you want the privilege of being the prime minister of the country, there's an opportunity cost, as they say in business. And the opportunity cost for Mr. Carney is that he has to disclose. Putting all of his assets into a blind trust means that it's blind to the public, but it's not blind to him. You know, right before he became prime minister, he does what I think a lot of us do who have assets and investments, is we look at our portfolios and we see where we have risks, where there are opportunities. We look at interest rates, we look at tax liability. I do this once a week or so for about half an hour with my portfolio. That's what responsible adults do. And for sure, Mark Carney has done that. If you want to be the Prime Minister of Canada, the CEO of a G7 country, putting things in a blind trust, that's what you're supposed to do. But frankly, it's not good enough. And it's not his fault that it's not good enough, but it's not good enough. And I think his team knows that. And I imagine that before the campaign starts, likely this weekend, that his team will get together, they will tighten up his messaging, and they'll do the correct thing, which it would be to either divest or to have a full exposure of all this sort of stuff. Because the last time we had a prime minister that had significant private sector dealings was probably Paul Martin. And everybody knew what his assets were. And you could say, well, you could allege that he's making certain decisions or investment decisions or tax decisions because, you know, he's a shipping magnate and this and that. Let that be part of the grist of the mill that constitutes regular politics and all that, but let sunshine rein in and let it expose what any possible conflicts there are so we can talk about them. That's how these democracies have to have an open flow of information if they're going to work.
I mean, that is something that the Liberals said that they were going to do for us, be fully transparent. But clearly, under the Trudeau government, the Conservatives continuously exposed scandal after scandal after scandal. They're still locked out of Parliament because we haven't got those redacted forms. We don't know who the traitors are. Like, transparency is not in their vocabulary, but it needs to start being because the Canadian people are not happy. But with that being said, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen to Rosemary? Do you think she's going to get fired? Do you think she's going to keep her job? And as always, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.